Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are MC.
Suddenly, the Royals' starting pitching is leading the way. Felipe Paulino allowed just 2 runs on Saturday in 7 innings. In his first Major League start, Everett Teaford pitched 5 scoreless innings. That was on Sunday. And Bruce Chen tossed 8 scoreless innings last night. Now the Royals go for a 4th straight win next on Fox Sports Kansas City. Kochever will hit a milestone today. He will make his 100th Major League appearance and try and lead the Royals to a 4th straight victory. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Kauffman Stadium with Royals Hall of Famer Frank White. I'm Ryan Lefevre, and last night the Royals began their final homestand of 2011. They did it with a win over Minnesota 4-0 with a great combination of pitching, defense, and offense.
And that's the kind of game you really want to see is what we saw last night. If the pitching is good, they're throwing strikes, that keeps everybody involved in the game, and the offense can always get to that early lead, and that does help.
Alex Gordon had 2 RBIs for the Royals last night, and for whatever reason, the Minnesota Twins bring out the best of Alex Gordon.
Well, you always have those teams that you do best against, and right now Alex Gordon's in a great groove, and coming into this series, he's been swinging the bat very well, and not only just getting base hits, but he's been doing it all. The long ball is definitely part of his game right now.
Luke Kochever will make the start for the Royals, and his second half began with this start in Minnesota right after the All-Star break.
Well, just pitching aggressively, and he's always had the stuff to be a number 1, number 2 starter, but just hadn't seen it. But he's done some big things this year. One is staying healthy, making his starts, and in the second half, getting deeper into games, and you see that going forward, he's going to be the pitcher the Royals really expect him to be.
Pitched really well in that start against Minnesota, but he took a no decision. And in the second half, 5-3 with a 3.56 ERA and an excellent walk-to-strikeout ratio. Great defense for the Royals last night. Melky Cabrera made this diving play in right center field. We'll talk more about the Royals' defense when we come back. When you play, students win. Last night, Bruce Chen and Lewis Coleman shut out the Minnesota Twins, and now the Twins will have this lineup today against Luke Hochevar.
So, Ryan, this is a lineup that really should favor Luke Hochevar today. This is a struggling lineup. They're 13th in AL with a 244 team BA and last in home runs. So, Luke should go get them today.
Hoping for some of the same defense the Royals turned in last night.
Well, it starts with Johnny Gianfratello and a great play he made over his shoulder at second base, and then also Melky Cabrera in center field. This is a play we've seen before, and that means that it's not luck when he makes this play.
And a look at the Royals today on defense, presented by Ram Trucks.
Well, it starts with the outfield, and back again with Melky Cabrera in center field. Played great defense. It also had 13 assists on the infield. Johnny Gianfratello making his 36th start. Also made a great play last night. And Luke Hochevar, 7-5 at home, trying to improve that record. So let's go get him.
It was a rare hitless game for Eric Hosmer last night, but the last time Luke Hochevar faced the Twins, Hosmer had the game-winning hit. It's the Royals and the Twins, and the first pitch is next. Beautiful Kauffman Stadium in high definition, brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Get no fee HD with digital TV from Time Warner Cable. And we haven't said this in a long time actually. You want to be in the sun today. It is a chilly day at the ballpark, and the sun is always shining on Joel Goldberg.
Very nice. Thank you, Ryan. Well, you guys talked about the Melky Cabrera catch earlier in the broadcast from last night. I figured I'd ask a couple of the experts, his fellow outfielders, Jeff Francoeur and Alex Gordon. Here comes the sarcasm. Frenchie said nice. It was an A-, but I would have got it standing up. It was an ungraceful fall, and those were his comments. Alex Gordon, well, he said that he kind of turned it into the, dive to make it a highlight, which Alex said he's really good at doing it too. Mitch Meyer sitting there had to add in best catch of the year. Guys?
Ben Revere pulls it to Johnny Gianfratello, so the Royals keep the speed off the bases. Revere is out, number one. Minnesota Twins facing Luke Hochevar for the fourth time this year. Luke trying to get back to all even with 10 wins and 11 losses. This is his 31st start of the year, adding to his career high. Coming off a very good start against the Seattle Mariners on Thursday. Season high 9 strikeouts. Ball one to Trevor Plouffe. And Luke has always pitched well during the day. 5-1 this year, including that big win for him at Fenway Park. And even though Luke, his record is below 500 overall and 5-3 in the second half, when he takes the mound, the Royals are 4 games above 500. Broken bat. Escobar goes to the middle and gets Trevor Plouffe. 2 down in the first inning. .66 degrees with the wind blowing out of the northwest. Game started at 3:09 Central Daylight Time, and the time and temp is brought to you by the Parking Spot. Easy to spot, easy to park. The Parking Spot at KCI. So 2 ground ball outs, and that means Joe Mauer comes to the plate with nobody on base. Joe Mauer 1 for 4 last night with a couple of strikeouts, and his one hit was an infield single. In fact, Minnesota only had 3 hits last night, and 2 were infield singles.
That just gives you an idea of how well Bruce Chen pitched last night. And the one thing that was real noticeable to me was he really set his pitches up well, and he had a lot of swing and misses on his fastball, and that's what you want to do when you mix your pitches up. Pitch inside, he had, like, I think 4 or 5 broken bats, and I just think that was his best performance all year last night.
Today is a carsoup.com email the booth day. Go to carsoup.com/Royals. Once you're there, CarSoup will ask for your zip code. Fill that in. You'll be sent to a different page where you can submit your question. And Joel Goldberg will be joining us in the top of the 5th inning to go over some of your carsoup.com questions, as Hochevar tried to quick pitch Joe Mauer 2 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 with Michael Kadire on deck.
You know, the one thing that Luke can really keep in mind in this big ballpark is you just eliminate walks. You don't have to be so fine. You're at 3 and 2. Joe Mauer's not really driving the ball as well, even though he's got that possibility. But you can't afford to challenge. You can't afford to challenge in this situation.
And he walked him. Hochevar at one point was ahead 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You watch that last pitch that Luke used. They used the fastball that runs off the plate. And if you want to try to thread that outside corner, to me, it's better off to just use a 4-seam fastball, go right for the corner. The ball stays straight. So if you're going to throw the running fastball, you got to throw more at the middle and then make it run away, than make it more appetizing to the hitter.
Inside to Michael Kadire, who is 0 for his last 19, trying to fight through a sore left wrist. 0 for 4 last night. One and 1. Well, we were talking about that start that Hochevar made against Minnesota on July 15th. 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run. That was his first start after the All-Star break. He was convinced, Bob McClure was convinced, that Hochevar was going to have a much better second half, and he has. Melky fighting the sun, runs up to make the play, and it's a scoreless first inning for Hochevar. Hendricks.
Oh, Alex going to be leading things off. A big home run last night. Fifth in the AL with a .330 home batting average. And Eric Hosmer will be in the 4th spot for the Royals this afternoon.
Facing 22-year-old Liam Hendricks, who is from Australia, signed with the Twins as an undrafted free agent in 2005. This is just his 2nd major league appearance. Took a loss, although he pitched well against the Chicago White Sox on September 6th. And they say that he's tough. He's quite a competitor, and that might come from watching his father play Australian rules football. You ever seen that sport played?
His dad's tough.
Wow. You talk about a sport.
I used to watch that, when ESPN first came on. I carried a whole bunch of Australian rules football games, and most amazing game I've ever seen.
That is a manly man sport.
Different than rugby.
Alex 3 out of 5 with his 22nd home run last night. 2 RBIs. He has 11 RBIs against the Twins this year and 32 RBIs against the Twins in his career. By far the most for him against one American League team. One ball, 2 strikes. Hendricks has been an excellent minor league pitcher. This year he was 12-6 in the minor leagues with a 3.36 ERA. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and he was even better last year. And his season was cut short because of an emergency appendectomy, but he was 8-4 last year with a 1.74 ERA. Alex lifts it to left into the wind, and Benson trying to figure out the win, able to run it down, and there's one away. Melky Cabrera comes to the plate, and we remind you to look for the Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment later in today's game. Melky had a taste greatness moment with a diving play in right center field. I think his teammates were being a little hard on him. I don't think he makes that play without diving.
I think you're right. I think the ball was near the ground when he made that great catch, and I think it's that friendly rivalry that they have with each other to try to play each other's catches down. But the graceful fall.
Here's the catch we're talking about.
Well, just take a look at that. I mean, I thought it was a pretty good fall. I mean, he tucked his shoulder, rolled, and was back on his feet and ready to go.
That was against Danny Valencia in the 7th inning last night.
You see, he makes this great catch. Now, look how he gets that shoulder turned, so his next move, he's up on his feet, ready to go.
Well, Hendricks, a pretty good fielder. He is 6'1", but seemed much taller than that, grabbing that ground ball, 2 down. Ram Trucks will show us the Minnesota Twins on defense today.
They have Ben Revere in center field in place of Denard Span and Joe Benson, both rookies in the outfield there. And on the infield, Trevor Plouffe, Chris Parmalee, both rookies on the infield there for the Twins. And we got Liam Hendricks is pitching today. Joe Mauer is back behind the plate.
Joe Mauer was at first base last night. He's also played 1 game in right field this year for the Twins. 3-time Gold Glove winner and won his 3rd last year. 2 down to Billy Butler. Billy on the last road trip through Oakland and Seattle. Battage is .179. Started the homestand last night. 1 for 3 with a walk. And that's hit well to right field. Kadire is back. And the wind knocks it down, a crosswind. Kadire makes the play on the edge of the warning track, and that's all for the Royals in the 1st. Royals baseball is brought to you by AT, the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. By Panera Bread Catering. Order online at PaneraKansas.com. And by Chevy. See your Kansas City area Chevy dealers. A 3:10 first pitch. 3:09 to be exact. Afternoon game as the Royals and Twins wrap up a 2-game series. Minnesota will go home. The Royals will begin a 4-game series with the Chicago White Sox tomorrow night. Fouled away by Jason Kubel. Coach Haver, 2 ground ball outs, and then walked Joe Mauer with 2 outs before retiring Michael Kadire. And now Frank Coeur and his shades reflecting the sunlight as he brings it down. 1 away in the 2nd inning. You can secure your priority to the 2012 All-Star Game with 2012 season tickets. It's the only way to make sure you are part of Kansas City history. And for details, go to Royals.com/2012. Swatted foul by Danny Valencia. Luke Hochevar taking a loss on Thursday at Seattle. He had all those strikeouts, 9, a season high, and had an excellent slider against the Mariners. Melky Cabrera having trouble with the sun, but able to hang in there and make the play to get Danny Valencia. Gave up a couple of home runs. Thought he could just flip a curveball up to Ichiro Suzuki to start the game, and Suzuki hit a home run to right field. And then with the game tied 1-1 in the 6th inning, gave up a home run to Justin Smoke of the Mariners, and Seattle went on to win that game 4-1.
Well, you just can't assume that everybody's going to take that first pitch. And most pitchers do assume that you will take that first pitch, get me over curveball. But Suzuki, the way he leaves the box and the ball kind of followed him, and he said, okay, I'm going to do something with it, and he did.
Once again, Melky with his hand out in front of his eyes. That is a 5-pitch 2nd inning for Luke Hochevar. Inning. Our You Call It question for today, presented by Sprint. The most disappointing season in the major leagues this year. The Cincinnati Reds, they won the National League Central last year. The Colorado Rockies, the Twins, who won the division last year, and that was for the 6th time in 9 years. or the Giants, who won the World Series. Now the Giants are fading away in the West. Text 432-432, enter keyword Royals, a space, and then ABC or D. Most disappointing team in your opinion, Frank?
I got to go with the Twins. I think they haven't been this low in the standings since 2000, and you got a $115 million payroll, and in the Central Division that ought to get you near the top in your division. So I would say the Minnesota Twins.
1-1 to Eric Hosmer. Joe Goldberg.
Well, I'm going to completely disagree with Frank because the Twins have been battered by injuries, and that's disappointment, but I think it's a reason. To me, the Reds were supposed to win that division. They were supposed to be even better than Milwaukee, and the Rockies were supposed to win the West in a lot of people's minds. I'm going to go with the Reds. I think they were supposed to be a very good team, and they haven't been in contention all year.
Eric Hosmer, who was 0 for 4 with an RBI last night. It's the Royals' first hit today against Liam Hendricks. I am torn between the Giants and the Twins. And even though the Giants won the World Series, I mean, they contended this year. Arizona was just good all season. San Francisco made a couple of deals. It just didn't pan out for them. But I would think of all the teams and how they feel about their seasons, that Minnesota would be most disappointed to go from first place to last place in the Central Division. Ron Gardenhire, as we talked about last night, has vowed that Minnesota is going to get after it in spring training more so than they did this past year. So we'll see if they're able to bounce back. But that was the biggest fall of the 4 teams on the list. So I'll take Minnesota.
Yeah, I think that's really the logical guess in my opinion. Injuries are just part of the game.
Benson made a move as if he was going to try and chase down that line drive from Francoeur. Plays it on a bounce, and Francoeur, who was hitless last night, has a base hit in his first at bat today.
All right, Jeff, when you throw him a breaking ball and you leave it in the middle of the plate and he can get to it, he's really going to do a good job of hitting it. He swings a little bit long. Breaking ball is just right for him on the middle end. And look how he gets through this ball very well. And you look at this, you look at Benson in left field, and he gets on this ball quickly.
Strike to Mike Moustakas. 1 hit last night, and it was his second home run. First home run in 281 at bats. Pretty good swing, fouled it back, and it's 0-2.
And this home run here at Kauffman Stadium was a long time coming for Mike Moustakas, and this is one of the prettiest swings he's taken all year. Body stayed back, hands got out front, and really drove that ball to center field. And his teammates were just as happy as he was when he got to the dugout.
Not right away.
Well, when you haven't done something for a long time, that's when you get that cold shoulder in the dugout.
The funniest for me was just reading Alex Gordon's lips when Moustakas came back into the dugout, messing around and saying, "You hit a home run?" "Oh, you hit a home run?"
Can you imagine? I mean, I can envision him being in the locker room and say, "Moose, when are you going to hit another home run?" You know, that kind of conversation. You know, so it was really good to see, but he was really happy about it today when I talked to him.
Blocked by Mauer. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Especially when he hit his first big league home run in his 5th at bat.
Right.
Just kind of picked up where he left off in the minor leagues. Moustakas had that monster year last year, playing at AA and AAA combined. 36 home runs, 124 RBIs, and he reaches out, pokes it into right center field. He will drive in Hosmer and send Francoeur first to third. 1-0 Royals in the second.
This is an adjustment right here. This is a changeup going down and away, and you can see how his top hand takes over and just pulls his changeup right into center field. good piece of hitting by Mustakas. Hosmer scores easily from second base, and Tranquil goes first to third.
So 3 up, 3 down in the first, and now 3 straight hits in the second. And Johnny Giavotella takes a little bit inside. Giavotella had been 0 for his previous 16 when he doubled in his first at bat last night, and finished the night with 2 hits and a walk. Into left center field, and Revere, who does not have a strong arm, makes the catch. 2-0 Royals. Giavotella drives in his 16th of the season.
And that's a good reaction to why did he throw the ball where he threw the ball. I mean, that throw from Ben Revere's got to go to second base. You know, you're not going to throw anybody out from that deep in left center field.
Salvador Perez has hit in 7 in a row. Scored a run, had a single last night, batting at .294. Could be a little distracting right now for the hitters, because right now the sun is peeking in and out of the clouds. One moment it's bright sunlight, the next moment the sun is behind one of the big white fluffy clouds that are moving left to right. 1 ball, 1 strike. Valencia at third. They get the out at second, and somehow turn the double play as Tolbert hangs in there after getting dumped by Moustakas. Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. 2-0 Royals, getting 2 in the second inning against Liam Hendricks. And we're going to talk Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp with the architect of Royals Alumni Fantasy Camp. This is Dina Wathen-Blevins, the daughter of John Wathen, and she's the one that handles all the emails, all the telephone calls when you call in and get information on Alumni Fantasy Camp. And she's the one that briefs all the players, right, Frank, before they come in here. And
she really gets after it. You know, she makes sure everybody's where they're supposed to be, on time, and that includes us, especially us.
I'm not that bad.
When we have a player come up here, or it was Fred White last night, Dina's usually off camera, off to the side, making sure the players are saying all the important things, all the important details about Alumni Fantasy Camp. So we thought it was time to have Dina on the air.
Thank you for having me.
So how's the camp going so far for 2011?
Well,
12.
Yes,
Wow,
2012,
2012.
January 30th through February 3rd. We have about 30 to 35 participants signed up as of now, and just still trying to get more. We try to get 72, so 6 teams of 12 on each team with 3 coaches as alumni.
So still plenty of spots available if you're thinking. I mean, we've been advertising this for a while, so don't be thinking that the spots are all taken up, because we've been talking about this for a couple of months.
Great Christmas gift.
Well, there's always more spots. 72 is fine. The first camp we ever had, we had 100, which was really kind of neat, and it's just sort of settled into that 72 player range there. A lot of repeat guys come in, which is a lot of fun because they can help the new guys get settled in and tell them what it's going to be like. So they always seem to bring other guys, and I think the repeat guys, we got 5-year repeat guys, so which is kind of neat.
Yes, at least. Yeah, we need new bodies in there, though.
There he is.
Oh boy, all I got was a brochure yesterday. Frank's trying to get me to go to fantasy camp, and I said, you know, I haven't been invited, and he handed me this brochure. So I went in there, and there wasn't a plane ticket in here. There wasn't just a brochure. Now, it's fantasy camp, which implies that it's designed for the fans to be able to come out and play with the Royals alumni. But you have really not had much trouble at all over the years getting the players to come out and do this.
Oh, no.
Another great play by Alex Gordon. Sliding in shallow left center field and taking a hit away from Matt Tolbert.
We have a great alumni group, so it is very easy to get all of our alumni guys out there. They enjoy it just as much as the campers, seeing their old teammates out there. So one of our new guys this year is Mike Sweeney, so he's going to be a very good addition to the group. And then we also have greats out there like George Breton, Frank White, Willie Wilson, John Mayberry. So it's always a good group of guys.
Dina, you and the alumni have talked about a lot of the details of fantasy camp, and I'm sure you get people who get the number and they call you and they have additional questions. What are some of the other questions that fans mostly ask about when they're deciding whether they should go to fantasy camp?
I think the most asked question is if they actually have the ability to play. And obviously we take anyone, any age. You have to be 30 years or older, but we take any age, and you know, different people who played college baseball, who played high school baseball. Some people have never played baseball, so we take them all as coaches or players.
Yeah, Big John, he was like 72. You know, that's the oldest camper I can recall.
Yes.
And so he comes down just to visit.
Not Mayberry.
No.
He's 72?
Not Big John Mayberry, but Big John used to be an umpire, and he's 72 years old. And he comes down every fantasy camp just to kind of look in on things, make sure things are as they were when he was there. So it's fun to see the guys come back just to watch also.
Yes, we had one guy last year that just coached. He had one at bat at the very end of camp. I think the last day he finally got in there. But guys just like to be out there and be in uniform and be around these ex-Major League Baseball players that tell great stories and just hang out with the guys in the clubhouse and in the evenings with all the events we have in the late afternoons and evenings, as far as dinners and our banquet Friday night awards banquet. So that's a lot of time to hang out with these ex-Royals players.
That's where I was going to go with the next question. It's not just playing baseball. You get a chance to spend time with these guys away from the field.
Exactly. I think that's probably some of the best times. Frank can talk about that more, but just getting to know the guys off the field as well as on the field.
Yeah, a lot of guys that first day is kind of fun because we kind of put them out there, and we're as coaches, we're walking around trying to see who we're going to draft. And they know what we're doing, so everybody's trying to put on their best face as we were going around and watching them take batting practice, and we give them instructions on how to field ground balls and fly balls and the hitting instructions. So we have rotating stations that first day, so they get a little bit of get to hear from everybody at first day, which is kind of neat. And then we go back, have the draft, and everybody's wondering whose team they're on, and that part's always fun.
I think campers tell me the most at the end of camp they enjoyed the most just talking to the guys and really getting to know them on a different level, not realizing that they'll really get to sit down in the corner and talk to Frank and George, but they really do. So it's a great opportunity to get close to these guys.
That's what those surveys are good for.
Yeah. Mostly all positives, though.
Escobar to the middle and throws out Plouffe. That's the inning. Dina, thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next time.
Okay.
Kansas was named the 2011 Royals Father of the Year by the National Center for Fathering. Tom and his wife Nancy have 2 biological children and 6 adopted children, and they have cared for dozens of others. Tom is a pastor at Perry Christian Church, has hosted foster children for about 13 years, has been taking care of kids for more than 37 years, and he is in a Buck O'Neil legacy seat at today's game. Alcides Escobar, last man to face Liam Hendricks today. 2 hits last night with a double. Royals scoring both of their runs in the second inning. Out into shallow right field, and Tolbert makes the play. Earlier today, you heard this on Hy-Vee Royals Live.
Don't let Frenchie or Melky upstage you there in the outfield.
Yeah, I think it's due. I'm due for a diving play. So Frenchie gave it to Melky last night, so I think Melky's going to give me one today.
All right, it's your turn. Alex, good stuff.
All right, thank you.
And this is what we just saw in the top of the 3rd inning. So there's his diving play. Now, who will Alex pass the baton on to, if that's how it works? One ball, 1 strike. Alex flied out to left against Hendricks in the 1st inning. Mike Moustakas and Johnny Giavotella driving in the runs in the 2nd. Up the middle and into center field. One out single for Alex Gordon. And we'll look at today's league leaders, brought to you by your Kansas City area Toyota dealers. and the league leaders in doubles. And the Royals have 4 among the top 9. Alex with 45. That ties him with Ben Zobrist of the Rays. Jeff Francoeur 3rd. Melky Cabrera got his 40th last night. He is 8th. And Billy Butler tied for 9th. Shallow left, and Plouffe will run it down. 2 away. Melky is 0 for 2. The Royals coming up on a couple of milestones in regard to doubles. Melky hits his next double in the lineup as an outfielder. The Royals have become the first major league team to have 3 outfielders with at least 40 doubles. And when Billy Butler hits 2 more doubles, which we expect to see, the Royals have become the first team since 2006 to have 4 different players with at least 40 doubles. Billy flied out to deep right field in the first inning.
Yeah, Billy was really surprised that ball was caught. I think he felt like he hit it a lot better, but that crosswind really knocked it down when it got out by the warning track.
Sounded like he might have cracked his bat. No balls, 2 strikes. Nope. A 3:10 start, so some of the kids are able to go to school and go to the ball game today. Minnesota has an off day at home tomorrow, so it's a league rule that you must give that team a day game the day before. Minnesota will go home. They will play 3. Then they will go to New York and play 1. A makeup from a rainout earlier this year, and then go right back to Minnesota. Royals will have 4 against the White Sox beginning tomorrow night. Next Monday is an off day. A 2-game series with the Tigers. And then on the road, 3 at Chicago, 3 at Minnesota. And that's it. Two and 2. Liam Hendriks pitched well against the White Sox on September 6th. Gave up 3 runs, 4 hits, and 7 innings in his big league debut, but outpitched by Jake Peavy. And Minnesota lost that game 3-0. He strikes out Billy Butler, and that's Hendriks' first of the day. 2-0 Royals. and internet pitch speeds brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Up to 50 megabits per second of pure online power. 3 scoreless innings for Luke Hochevar. They'll get Joe Mauer, Michael Kadire, and Jason Kubel in the 4th inning. A little bit high to Mauer, who was down 1-2 in the first and then drew a walk. And then Joe Benson had an infield single in the 3rd inning. So the only 2 to reach safely against Hochevar. 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Mauer at 289 in the middle of September. On the ground at Giavitella. 1 away in the 4th. Coming up tomorrow, the Royals begin that 4-game series with the White Sox, and fans can purchase all-you-can-eat seats located in the Loge level, which includes unlimited ballpark fare, so all the hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, pretzels, and Pepsi products you can handle for one low price. For more details, 1-800-6-ROYALS or royals.com/all-you-can-eat. Michael Kadire now 0 for his last 20 after flying out to center field in the 1st inning. And he gets it through the left side for a 1-out single. So Hochevar got the ground ball, just well placed between Moustakas and Escobar. 1 on, 1 out. Most disappointing 2011 season. 59% right now going with the Minnesota Twins. Frank and I took the Twins. Joel took the Reds, 12%. The Giants, defending champions, 23%. Keep texting. 432 432, keyword Royals. A space followed by A, B, C, or D. Hochevar got Jason Kubel on a fly out to right in the 2nd inning. 0-2. There's that hard slider we were talking about that Hochevar used so well against the Mariners on Thursday. And it's the pitch that helps him get his first strikeout today.
And you can really see the depth of that slider, and it just looks like it's going to be a fastball inside. Left-hander commits, and this ball goes down underneath the swing. I mean, this is good stuff by Luke Hochevar. He does have the stuff, and when it's working, you can really see why everybody likes him where he's at, and especially since the All-Star break, we're going forward, the optimism for him has to be pretty high.
He got Danny Valencia on a fly out to center field his first time up. Valencia just 6 out of 53 against the Royals this year.
He's had a hard time with the breaking ball against the Royals, right-handed pitchers. Just chasing the breaking ball out of the zone.
Kadire's running, and Kadire has a stolen base. 2nd stolen base for the Twins in the last 2 innings.
Well, he gets a good jump, and Luke didn't go with his real good low leg kick. He's got that high leg kick, and he just does get in there ahead of Salvador Perez's throw.
One ball, 2 strikes. Salvador Perez, that was a good throw, good strong throw right on the bag, and he's been doing that ever since he was called up from AAA. As Valencia gets one into center field, Kadire coming around third, Melky's throw is short. It is a 2-1 game, and Valencia moves up to second base. So anyway, we were talking about Perez and his good arm. He's only thrown 2 out of 23 out. And the stolen base here by Kadire sets up Minnesota's first run.
And this is a ball hit right back through the middle, right through Luke's legs in the outfield. Gio Patella dove and tried to stop this, but there's no cutoff guy right there on that throw. If a cutoff man's in the right spot there, then you keep the batter running from one to second base. That's why it's important to keep that throw down.
Chris Parmalee fouls it into the seats behind the third base dugout. So the tying run at second base. Parmalee flied to center in the second, had one at bat late last night and struck out. The Twins have 5 former first-round picks in their lineup today. Parmalee in 06, Ben Revere in 07, Trevor Plouffe in 04, Joe Mauer in 01, and Michael Kadire in 1997. 2-1. In fact, all 9 in the Twins lineup today are from their system. Parmalee just getting to the big leagues 8 days ago for the first time. Michael Kadire, the guy with the gray hair. Drafted way back in 1997.
Now he's got all these babies to try to help raise for the Twins, get them ready for next season.
Not as much gray hair as Ron Gardenhire has, however. There is no way to get around a disappointing season, and especially when you finish in last with high hopes. But he'd be a good guy to have leading the ship in a good year or a bad year.
And I think that's what it's all about, is getting back to fundamentals. And right now, just using these last few games to judge these young guys that he has brought up and kind of see where he is with those guys. Just knowing that he has some veteran guys that will be coming back, especially in the pitching department. And I think just seeing what it can going forward, what's going to work for the Twins.
Now Parmalee walks. Hochevar's second. And 2 on, 2 out. Hey, Mizzou football fans. This Saturday, the Tigers take on Western Illinois, and many video providers in the area will offer this game on pay-per-view. Access your digital program guide or call your video provider to order the game today, or visit foxsportskansascity.com. Joe Benson, who was a second-round pick in 06, the year Parmalee was taken in the first round, bats with 2 on, 2 out. Reached with an infield single in the third inning. Down 0-2. Benson, the Twins hope, will be a good mixture of power and speed. He was an excellent high school football player and was on his way to Purdue to play football before signing with the Twins. And 4 years later, in 2010, he was Minnesota's minor league player of the year. One ball and 2 strikes.
Now, when you see good high school football players and you have an opportunity to sign with a Major League Baseball team, you wonder how bad they really do want to go play football over baseball.
Still 1-2. Especially when they sit down on the couch on a Saturday afternoon and they hear the marching bands and the banging of the drums. I think it would take a while if you play football at that high of a level to get that out of your blood.
Well, I think so. I played high school football, but when it was over, I knew I didn't want to play anymore. And that next level only gets a little bit tougher.
Hochevar ends the inning with a strikeout. 2 in the inning. Minnesota gets a run. Pepsi Max is proud to be the official soft drink of the Royals and the Fox Sports Kansas City broadcast booth. Look for Pepsi Max at your neighborhood Hy-Vee food store. Pepsi Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. Eric Hosmer, Jeff Francoeur, Mike Moustakas coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hosmer single to left in the second, came around to score on Moustakas' single, and then Francoeur scored on a sac fly from Johnny Giavotella. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over the mound, over second base, and into center. So Hosmer is 2 for 2, and the Royals have the leadoff man on for the second time. The first time was a Hosmer single in the second.
And it really takes a lot of topspin to get the ball over the mound like that. He hits right over the top of the ball, and the ball goes right over Hendrick's head right into center field. I mean, it just sounded weird when he hit it. Almost sounded hollow when he hit it. And just enough topspin to get it out to center field.
At the knees and a strike to Jeff Francoeur. He singled and scored in the second inning, batting at .281 all season, but .305 in the second half. Oh and 2. Still no balls, 2 strikes. We were talking earlier about the passing clouds and how that might be distracting for the hitters. Sun ducking in and out of the clouds. Well, in a moment, we're going to have a stretch of the game today where the pitchers are going to have a huge advantage because of the shadows behind home plate. Left side, past Valencia, off the glove of Plouffe. 2 on, nobody out. Base hit for Jeff Francoeur. He's 2 for 2. Let's go to Joe Goldberg.
Well, Ryan, we saw Mike Moustakas with the home run last night, and talking to hitting coach Kevin Seitzer about that today. And as he often says about guys that have gone on a homer drought for a while, he says that they'll be fine if they don't suddenly, after hitting that home run, start trying to hit home runs. He feels like if Moose just goes back to doing what he's doing, everything will be okay. The home runs will come. With that also, he said that his message, or one of his messages to Moose, is don't try to compensate for some of the numbers that you didn't have the last few months. Just keep playing and doing what you're doing, and eventually, this year and certainly next year, those numbers will come. Ryan, one final point, and it's unrelated, but you just mentioned the shadows. Kevin Seitzer was so happy this morning about the cloud cover. He didn't care about the temperature. He was happy about the cloud cover. Now, probably mixed feelings, guys.
Well, and as you say that, once again, the sun is behind a cloud for a moment. So everybody is in the shadows, but that's about to end in a moment.
Hey, one of the things too is with the temperature the way it is, once those shadows cover the batter, he's going to be a little cooler than the pitcher on the mound, be a little bit warmer when those shadows come in.
Royals started the second inning with base hits from Hosmer and Francoeur. They both came around to score. And now they start the fourth with base hits from Hosmer and Francoeur. And it's 3-1 on Moustakas, who drove in one of the runs in the second inning.
A really good piece of hitting. He picked on a changeup and hit it back through the middle to right to center field to score Hosmer. And just a nice adjustment from a fastball to a changeup.
And a shallow left center field. So he drives in Hosmer again, and he gets Francoeur to third base again. Royals lead 3-1.
I mean, Moose right there, you can really tell he's really seeing the ball. The similar pitch going down and away. He doesn't try to pull it. He's strong enough to get it out into the outfield, and that's a good piece of adjustment. I mean, that's at the end of your swing right there. At the end of your swing, being strong enough to still get the ball out in the left center field. That gives you an idea of the type of strength that Moustakas has. But I'm just more impressed by the adjustment from a fastball and a pitch, off-speed pitch running down and away. He just stays with it enough to get a base hit.
Pitching coach Rick Anderson, who played briefly for the Royals, out to chat with Hendricks and maybe reminding him that he's made some decent pitches in the inning. Hosmer hit a ground ball into center field. Francoeur with an infield base hit, and now Moustakas poking it into left center. And now it's Johnny Giavitello with runners at first and third.
Well, actually, when Hendricks has wanted to use his fastball, it's been a pretty effective pitch for him when he used it on the inner half of the plate. It's the off-speed and breaking pitches that he's not getting away with.
Ball 1 to Giavitello. He had a sac fly in the second inning, driving in his 16th of the year. Got the call. Appeared to be a little high. 1-1. Now Fox Tracks is supposed to be adjusted for the height of every hitter. So that pitch may have come in at a good spot for Joe Mauer receiving the pitch, but that's a shorter hitter at the plate. So his strike zone, Giavitello's strike zone, is going to be much different from who's waiting on deck, Salvador Perez, if you are going from the knees to below the letters.
Well, I agree with that. Much shorter window, much narrower window to throw into.
To short. Wild throw ends up in right field. Here comes Moustakas around third base, and the throw to Maurer is going to be in time. So that's the first out. The Royals get a run with Francoeur coming around to score. And it is 4-1 with Giavotella going into second base. So it's a fielder's choice, an error on Plouffe, error 6, and 1 RBI.
Well, basically, you got to take your time and make this play. Plouffe filled the ball off of his right foot with his weight going toward third base and really didn't set his feet enough to be able to make a good throw to the second base. And you can see Moustakas trying to score, and he's thrown out on that play right there. So, you know, the infielders try to be a little too quick sometimes. Sometimes when you go into your right there, you got to say you're just going to get one out, and you got to always set your feet before you throw. And Trevor Plouffe didn't do that and got that ball throw by Talbot at second base and down the right field line.
Ball one to Salvador Perez. He grounded into a double play in the second inning. Royals with 2 in the second, 2 here in the fourth. 2 balls and no strikes.
It's the last at bat to Salvador Perez. So you see when Hendricks want to use that ball inside, he's fine. But if he gets it out over the plate with his breaking ball, those are the pitches that really giving him a lot of trouble. You know, he tops out about 91, 92, but he's got a good running fastball and gotten a couple pop-ups on the fastball inside, but the breaking ball just a little flat. His curveball a little flat out over the plate.
Fouled off of his foot. 2 balls, 2 strikes. "20 pitches this inning, and he only has 1 out, and his next pitch will be his 60th of the game. That's hit well to right field. Dyer is back. It's over his head off the chain link. Giavotella is around third, and he'll score on the Perez double, and the Royals lead 5-1.
Well, when Salvador Perez grows up, he's going to be something to deal with. This is some kind of power swing here the opposite way. I mean, he gets all of this ball with that big frame of his. It's still filling out and still maturing, but head was right there. Good follow through. This ball's off the right field fence. I mean, that's a lot of power from a right-handed hitter. And he gets himself a double and an RBI as Giavotella scores.
So he's hit an 8 in a row. Drives in his 10th of the year, and he's at second base for Alcides Escobar. Alcides popped out to second baseman Matt Tolbert in the third inning. A little bit inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Very high in the air. The wind is going to push it around, and Danny Valencia has to come way in on the grass. 2 outs in the 4th inning. So the second time Escobar has popped up today. And now Hendricks will get Alex Gordon for the 3rd time. Alex flied out in the first and then single to center in the third. Gets away from Mauer, and Perez will go to third. Good pitch across the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alex with 12 RBIs in his last 11 games after getting 2 last night, which included his 22nd home run. 2-1. Productive day for the rookies. Eric Hosmer, 2 hits, 2 runs scored. Mike Moustakas, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Johnny Giavotella has driven in 2. Salvador Perez has driven in 1. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, Alex had 2 pretty good pitches to swing at in this inning and fouled them off. You can see his disappointment after fouling that last pitch off right there.
And Alex strikes out to end the inning. The Royals add 3 and lead 5-1. Royals beat the Twins 4-0, off to a good start on the mound with the leather and at the plate.
Well, that's what it needs, all 3 of those. Holshaver's doing what he's supposed to do, and I tell you, it's Francoeur, Hosmer, and Moustakas show right now from an offensive standpoint, and it's a fun game to watch when everything kind of comes together.
Ball 1 to Matt Tolbert. Flied out to left field in the 3rd inning with Alex Gordon making a diving play in shallow left center. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matt Tolbert batting .198 this year, but .400 against the Royals. He is about a .230 career hitter, but he's a .341 career hitter against the Royals, and that's in 92 at bats. So here's what we were talking about earlier, where the hitter is in the shadows, pitcher out in the bright sunlight. And Hochevar takes advantage of that advantage and strikes out his third. It's a carsoup.com email the booth day. Let's go to Joel.
Ryan, I got about 5 or 6 emails, all from different guys, all from different cities, and what seemed like a calculated ambush of wanting to know whether Alex Gordon would win the MVP if he were in the AL East. Just coincidence that they all came in at the same time from different cities, from different guys, but he doesn't have league MVP numbers this year, does he?
Well, in my opinion, I think it has to do with the team you're playing for. And if you're the best player on one of the best teams, you know, some voters go with the most valuable player to his team, not necessarily the most impressive numbers. Not everybody votes that way, but if the Royals were about to win the division and you were to ask yourself, well, how did the Royals win the division? Who was the difference maker? Well, then I think Alex Gordon's an MVP candidate.
Just speaking strictly the way you were talking there, Ron, I think you're right. And, you know, I think usually about this time of the year, usually the MVP guy's over 100 RBI, and he usually got 20 to 30 home runs and really carrying his ball club. You know, it's sort of like a guy like Curtis Granderson with the Yankees, but his average is starting to slip. He's slumping a little bit, so that could hurt him. But AL East, I tell you what, with Adrian Gonzalez over there, this is pretty difficult to put those numbers on with what Alex is doing right here.
And Frank, I mean, the top 5 RBI guys in the American League happen to be in the American League East. The top 4 home run guys happen to be in the American League East. But I was curious to see if there was any favoritism. And it's 2 voters per American League city. So it's not like it's 20 New York writers and 1 Kansas City writer. How many would you say of the last 24 years, how many MVPs would you guess have come from the American League East? Last 24 years.
Wow.
10, 12, 13, 15,
17.
Brian?
8.5.
Well, you got closer, but you still went over. 5 of the last 24 have come from the American League East.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hard to believe.
Now, there are some guys like A-Rod who have done it in the American League West and the American League East, but you go back, whether it's Joe Mauer, Josh Hamilton last year, and you look at guys like that, Juan Gonzalez when he was with Texas, Frank Thomas a couple of years with the White Sox.
But Joe, most of those teams are up near the top though in their division, aren't they?
And I think Ryan hit it on the head. That's the key. It's not an East Coast bias thing, although those players certainly get a lot of attention, but you got to play on a good team to get a lot of attention too.
Alex Rodriguez, when he won it with the Rangers, they were in last place, and that does not happen very often. MVP for a last place team, you got to put up huge numbers to accomplish that. Still 3-2 on Ben Revere.
Gwen Ray in Lee Summit, Missouri asks, are there females that go to fantasy camp? The question is yes. So we encourage anyone, male or female, to go to fantasy camp.
Well, that's true, Joel, and I've been there when we've had it. It's been 1 for each camp, but I haven't seen more than 1. But they have their own private dressing facility for the ladies, so it's pretty comfortable for ladies when they go there. And Alex Gordon comes in and makes another nice, easy catch in left field. I mean, it's going to always be an amazing story here, going from third base to the outfield, and in 1 year, it'll become one of the best left fielders in the game.
Frank Joel in Kansas City wants to know if that qualifies as a diving catch.
No, that's a sliding catch.
Okay. Alex did point out, he said Melky did a good job yesterday of selling the dive, and that gets you a little extra style points. And Alex said he's the master of that.
Trevor Plouffe into center field for a 2-out single. He is 1 for 3.
Speaking of this MVP talk, Ron in Kansas City wants to know whether Justin Verlander should win the MVP.
No.
You know,
I don't agree with that.
Typically, I don't agree with a pitcher winning that award. I think there should be a best pitcher and a best hitter. But the Tigers are about a 500 team without Justin Verlander. I mean, he's having one of those years where he is a true difference maker. but there's a reason why there have been very few MVPs that also pitch. I'm not saying he should be the MVP, but I'm just saying at least this was the case when we played the Tigers last, that they were a 500 team without him, and they were whatever, 12, 13, 14 games when he started.
Well, I just think that there are guys out there going out there every day putting up numbers, and you also have to score runs for Verlander to win games also. And I think with having a Cy Young award, that's a top award that a pitcher can win. And just like a reliever, you got the fireman award for those guys. So I think that you keep it where it is. I think it's a cleaner game. And I remember Willie Hernandez won the MVP for the Tigers back, what's it, 84? I'm sorry, was it 84, right? 84. So it can happen, and Verlander is definitely going to get a lot of consideration for MVP this year.
Dennis Eckersley in 1992.
But we don't have to like it, Joel. But
No.
we don't vote.
No, but I heard Cliff Lee recently on the radio saying exactly what you just said, Frank. But it was the pitcher's perspective, and he said, you know what? We've got the Cy Young, and we go out there once every 5 days, and they've got the MVP award. But he is going to get a lot of consideration, especially when you figure he could end up at 25 wins.
3 balls and 2 strikes on Mauer.
Cheryl Olsen, Overland Park, Kansas.
Well, you see that good slider from Luke. I mean, when that pitch there is always there for him in the second half, and as long as he's got that slider looking the way it's looking, he's going to get that ability to strike out left-handed hitters. But right here, you don't have to be too fine. You just got to make sure you make a quality pitch, and just get away from the walk.
2-out question. Seems like the Royals have had a lot of one-run games this year. Any idea how many? Well, I'll just do it. It's 54.
Scoreless 5th inning for Luke Hochevar. As we go to the bottom of the 5th inning, Detroit has already won today, so their lead over Cleveland is now 13 in the American League Central, as Cleveland has fallen to below 500. Our AT&T trivia question for today: which team has won the American League Central by the most games, and in what season? And realignment was 1995, when we went from 4 divisions to 6 divisions. So who has had the biggest margin in winning the American League Central since that year? Melky Cabrera, Billy Butler, and Eric Hosmer coming up in the bottom of the 5th. One hop, nice backhand play by Plouffe, and he throws out Melky. Plouffe committed an error last inning and now takes a hit away from Melky Cabrera. By the way, we need to answer last night's trivia question. Melky Cabrera with 183 hits. That was a Royals record, is a Royals record. Most hits in his first season with the Royals, passing Danny Tartabull back in 1987. So we hope you'll join us tomorrow for the answer to today's trivia question. We're starting to treat it like the newspaper crossword puzzle. Try and figure it out today. We'll give you the answers tomorrow. Billy Butler has flied out to deep right and struck out against Liam Hendricks. Just missed outside, according to Corey Blazer, home plate umpire, and it's 3-0. Three and one.
No, Ryan, I was talking to Tom Kelly before the game today, and he was talking about trivia. And they said that, I guess that trivia was named all the Royals Rookie of the Year winners, and he said everything that he tried to guess last night was wrong. He said even when I say, well, he's going to get a good fastball to hit here, he's going to get a breaking ball, and they hit the breaking ball. And we get a good breaking ball, hit the fastball, and then he knows a lot about winning. So, but he said he got nothing right last night.
Former Minnesota Twins manager when Twins won it in 1987 and 1991, doing some television for the Twins now, and working with longtime TV voice Dick Raymer.
Yeah, funny
He's
guy.
still shaking his head.
Funny guy. Oh, he's so funny.
Matt Tolbert throws out Billy Butler, and there are two down. Coming up on Friday, hope you can join us for the final Fireworks Friday of the season when the Royals take on the White Sox at 7:10. It's also Futures Night. Royals top minor league prospects will be at Kauffman Stadium for an autograph session. That'll be at Gate A from 5:30 to 6:15. Tom Kelly said something once I've never forgotten. And he had his way of saying something, and you hear it, and then a week later you'd go, oh, okay, now I know what he meant. He once said, on a team with a lot of young players, it takes more to be a big leaguer than just being in the big leagues.
Yep.
Never forgot that. And that's a lesson a lot of players need to learn, that just because you're here doesn't mean you've arrived.
Well, that's what Hal McRae told me when I first came to the big leagues. He said there's two kind of ball players, and that's one that wears the uniform and the one that comes to play ball.
Very hard line drive went into the seats, and it hit a fan behind the Minnesota dugout, but got him on the arm. Usher's asking if he's all right, and he's as good as he can be considering the size of the bruise, I'm sure. And now pulled foul to the first base side. You know, something that has gone unnoticed by people outside of Minnesota, when they had that nucleus of players, Corey Hunter, Jock Jones, A.J. Pierzynski, Doug Minkiewicz, on and on, a lot of those guys got to the big leagues and were sent back because they needed to work on some things. And even though there might not have been somebody ahead of them, they were still sent back to the minor leagues. And when they came back again, it kind of fits into what Tom Kelly said. It takes more to be a big leaguer than simply being in the big leagues.
Well, I think all players, especially young players, have to have that fear that when you're not playing well, you can go back to AAA. If you get young guys here and they don't have that fear that they can get sent back to the minors, then the sense of urgency and learning the game doesn't come as quickly. So you always got to have that competition behind every guy ready to come up here, and they have to know that competition is ready to come up here. That keeps everybody focused on what they need to get done.
And there's no shrimp cocktail and charter flights back down in the minor leagues. Hosmer to center field into that crosswind. Ben Revere makes the play. 3 up, 3 down for Liam Hendricks in the 5th. Appreciation Night presented by Sprint. That's coming up this Saturday when the Royals take on the White Sox at 6:10. All fans will have a chance to win great prizes like 2012 opening day tickets, autograph items, prize packs, and much more. First 20,000 fans will receive that green hat presented by Commerce Bank. That is to the gap, and boy, the wind pushed it right in between Melky Cabrera and Jeff Francoeur. And Michael Kadire has a leadoff triple. So that ball already had some slice off the bat of a right-hand hitter, and then the wind just put it right in between Cabrera and Francoeur.
Well, we'll get a good look at it here from this angle, and you can see how far that ball did travel. It started right up the middle and got inside of it a little bit. And the ball ended up way over in right center field. Very uncatchable ball, and Kadire never hesitated at second base and right all the way to third base, got himself a stand-up triple.
Just his second triple of the year. And a curveball for a strike. Jason Kubel has struck out and flied to right. So not another big strikeout game for Hochevar today, as it has been for his last two starts. A little bit high, 1 ball, 1 strike, but he's only given up 1 run in 5 innings. Two and 1. Got through the first 3 innings rather quickly. 14 pitches, 5 pitches, 12 pitches, and then over 20 in the last 2. Pulled to first, and Hosmer will give it to Hochevar for the out. Kadire scores to make it 5-2. So the Royals will take that. And on a 2-1 pitch, I think Kubel was wanting to do more than that with the pitch, and that clears the bases with 1 out. Today's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Ryan Lefebvre with Frank White and Joel Goldberg at Kauffman Stadium on a cool, breezy day. 66 degrees at first pitch. And all nice and warm in the production truck. Producer Kevin Schenk, director Steve Kurtenbach, associate producers Al Broughton, Sam Abramson, and the producer of Royals Live is TJ McGinnis. Curveball got away from Hochevar, and ball 1 to Danny Valencia. One and 1. Valencia drove in Minnesota's first run with a 2-out single in the 4th inning. Way out in front. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
This pitch here, it's really right down the middle of the plate. Valencia really pulls off the breaking ball real bad right there, and Luke got away with a hanging slider right there.
Sound like he cracked his bat. Still 1 and 2.
Yeah, right now Luke's breaking ball staying out over the plate and up a little bit, and he doesn't have that good snap on that slider. But I think that's really the pitch to throw right here. Just got to get it down a little bit more and away.
Pulled to third. Moustakas plays the short hop and throws out Valencia. It is not a cold day. It is a cool day. And very refreshing compared to the summer we've had. But Luke Hochevar, growing up in Denver, loves to pitch in the cold weather, and he's had some of his better games with the Royals early in the season in April with wind and rain and temperatures in the 40s. So he is not uncomfortable on a day like today. And you can imagine how much better Slugger feels today.
Slugger's kind of day. He's got a lot of energy today.
Broken bat. One hop to Hosmer. Once again connects with Hochevar. Minnesota gets a leadoff triple and only one run in the 6th.
Contestant is Chris Null from beautiful Lee Summit, Missouri. If the Royals hit a home run this inning, Chris will win $1,000. But if the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Chris will win $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals.
And it's a Chevy call to the bullpen for Minnesota. And this will be Kyle Waldrop, another Minnesota first-round draft pick back in 2004. And Jeff Francoeur hits a fly ball into center field. And Ben Revere makes the play. And Moustakas comes to the plate. It's been a good day for the Royals rookies.
Well, you got Hosmer, Moustakas, Giovanella, Perez all have contributed tonight to combine for 5 runs. And they all got 5 runs batted in, or 5 for 8. So just a great day for those guys. Moustakas, to me, most impressive because he was able to make some good adjustments on a couple off-speed pitches, got base hits and 2 RBI.
One and one to Moustakas. Three hits, 3 RBIs in the 2-game series with the Minnesota Twins. And that's drilled to center field. Ben Revere is back, and it's off the padding. Moustakas has a 1-out double. He is 3 for 3 today.
Oh, just a good-looking swing by Moustakas. And just out over the plate. got his hands through the pitch very well, and again, he's done a better job of stand back and leading with his hands. And when he gets through the ball like that, it's gonna take off. And this ball short hopped the wall in center field.
Third time he's had a 3-hit game. It's his 14th double. And now Giavotella, who has driven in 2 today. And Waldrop misses inside. Giavotella with a sac fly in the 2nd inning. And then with a fielder's choice in the 4th. To the left side, Moustakas goes to third, and Plouffe plays it to first. 2 down.
Yeah, probably a different game, a different score, and Moustakas is probably an easy target at third base, but Trevor Plouffe decided to go ahead and just get the out. One thing that Doug Sisson teaches his base runners when you're on second base is that when the ball's in front of you, you got to stay. If it's at you or behind you, you can go to third base.
Ball 1 to Salvador Perez. He has driven in a run. That was with the double in the 4th inning. And he's hit an 8 in a row. Off of Plouffe's glove, he'll drive in another run. So the Royals get the run right back in the bottom of the 6th and have another 4-run lead.
This is back in the 4th inning with Salvador Perez. This ball right here, he really jumps on top of this fastball that drives us off the right field wall. And that play to Giavotella. He goes into second base with a double. And here with Mike Moustakas on third base, he's able to get over the top of a fastball and gets in the hole to deep short. And Trevor Plouffe wasn't able to keep it on the infield and gets another base hit and scores Moustakas.
Alcides Escobar has popped out twice today. 6 runs, 10 hits for the Royals. And that's into center. 11 hits for KC, and that's Escobar's first.
When you stay through the pitch that's moving in on you, this is what happens. You get a line drive back through the middle. If he tries to pull that, it rolls over, probably hits it off his foot, but did a good job getting his hands inside the pitch and did a line drive back through the middle.
Ron Gardenhire out of the third base dugout. So it'll be another Chevy call to the bullpen. Waldrop faces 5, gives up 3 hits and a run. Phil Dumatre, the lefty, will come on to face Alex Gordon. Top of the 6th inning. Run scored by Mike Moustakas, giving the Royals a 6-2 lead. And Mike Moustakas is our Miller Lite Taste Greatness moment.
A big day for Mike so far in this ball game, and they've been able to put together a couple RBI base hits on tough off-speed pitches, and also he had a double off the center field wall, and that set up another run for the Royals. He was able to score after getting to third base.
th appearance of the year for Phil Dumontre in his first season with the Twins. 11 years ago, he was the Boston Red Sox first-round pick, and then had Tommy John surgery 4 years after that. Also been on the disabled list a couple of times because of left shoulder problems, and had surgery on his left shoulder after the 2008 season. Runners at first and second. Alex Gordon singled to center in the 3rd inning. 1 for 3 today, 4 out of 8 in the series. One and one. Two balls and 1 strike. Things are evening out now with both the hitter and the pitcher in the shade. There's a little streak of sunlight that's crossing home plate. Three and one. Shadows we don't normally see, but today was an odd start time. 3:10. The required afternoon game for Minnesota, a getaway day for them, followed by an off day at home. All of these shadows are typically gone by the time we get to a 6:10 or a 7:10 game. Back into center field. Base hit for Gordon. Here comes Salvador Perez to the plate. The throw goes to third. And Alcides Escobar able to read that and return to second base. So 2 hits for Alex Gordon, 2 runs for the Royals in the 6th, and now their biggest lead of the day, 7-2.
Well, Alex gets the slider right here. You can see where Ben Revere is playing here, and Alex gets a line drive. Oh my goodness, Dumontre barely got it away of that one, and you can see Escobar going around second, and realizes I'm not going to make it, and he pulls up as Perez scores on that base hit back Gordon.
And now 2 on for Melky Cabrera, who is hitless. He's grounded back to the mound. Ian Hendricks made a nice stab on his ground ball in the 1st inning. Melky popped to short in the 3rd and then lost a hit on another good play in the 5th. That was on a ground ball to shortstop Trevor Plouffe. So a bad luck 0 for 3. 1 and 1. Two balls and 1 strike. And now 3 and 1. Inning started with a fly ball to center from Jeff Francoeur. Mike Moustakas doubled, and then Giavotella grounded out. So a runner at 3rd with 2 outs. But Salvador Perez with an RBI on an infield single. Alcides Escobar singled. The pitching change bringing on Dumatre, and Alex Gordon singled with an RBI. Both runs coming home with 2 outs. 3-2.
I think when you're evaluating your left-handed relievers when they come out of the bullpen, most times you're going to bring them out to face a left-handed hitter, and you really want that pitcher to get that hitter. You don't want to give up a base hit to that lefty and then have to face a right-hander the next batter.
Off of Dumatre's glove, and then Tolbert lost a, you got it, ground ball in the sun. So everybody's safe. The Royals have the bases loaded with 2 outs. More accurately, a high chopper in the sun, but he lost it.
He did right off the glove of Dumatre right here, and he just lost it right in the sun. And luckily, Plouffe was there to back that play up. Right off the top of the glove. Wow, I can never say I've ever seen that.
So it goes as an infield single to load the bases. And another pitching change from Minnesota. Right-hander Alex Burnett. Frustrating day for Ron Gardenhire and the Minnesota Twins. Just a 2-game series. The Royals winning last night 4-0. They're ahead 7-2 in the 6th inning today. We're not used to seeing the Twins play like this, and certainly Ron Gardenhire isn't used to it, but man, one injury after another. And it's Alex Burnett with the bases loaded, 2 down, and gets Billy Butler. Burnett is the 3rd pitcher in the inning for the Twins. Kyle Waldrop started the inning. He got 2 outs. Also gave up 3 hits. Phil Dumatre came on, gave up 2 hits and a run that was charged to Waldrop, and now Burnett. One ball, 1 strike.
Well, Sonic Slam contestant Chris Null, I hope you're watching this game right now. $1,000 on the line, and it's in Billy Butler's hands right now.
$25,000 if it's a home run here.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a grand slam.
There is no way that our Sonic Slam contestant could win $1,000 with Billy Butler at the plate.
No way. You're right. Hey, here's a way. If Billy hits him inside the park. grand slam, he win 1,000.
Then he wins $1 million. Hit well to right, not quite hard enough. Kadire makes the play. Royals get 2 more in the 6th, and they lead by 5. Top of the 7th inning. This Sunday, grab your furry best friend and join us for Bark at the K, presented by Bayer Animal Health. Packages include a human and canine ticket, doggy toy, and a donation to local animal shelters. There'll be live pet adoptions, a pregame parade, and much more. For tickets and details, visit royals.com/bark. And it'll be Blake Wood taking over in the 7th inning. Luke Hochevar goes 6 and gives up 2 runs. So now the Royals starters over the last 4 games have gone 26 innings and given up just 4 earned runs. And Hochevar today started his outing with 3 scoreless innings. And thanks to Bruce Chen's 8 and Everett Tieford on Sunday with 5, the Royals had pitched 19 consecutive scoreless innings. At least the Royals starters had. So as we look forward to 2012, and it's no secret the Royals are going to be looking for ways to improve the starting rotation. The starting rotation now is poised for a strong finish.
Well, that's what makes it kind of difficult to make those decisions. They say that the 2 worst times to judge is September and spring training. The Royals have historically over the last 3 years had strong starting pitching performances in September. So you just have to kind of weed through it and see how everything fits in going into next year.
Joe Benson goes the other way, and with the spin that rolls away from Jeff Francoeur. And Benson will hold with a leadoff double. He is 2 out of 3 today. His 3rd major league double, and for the Twins, just their 6th hit.
When Blake throws a fastball coming in on Joe Benson, and he got to get inside of it down the line. Francoeur really plays this ball well. He sees the ball get by him. He changes his angle, lets the ball get off the wall, and that could have been a triple just easily if he doesn't play that ball perfectly in right field.
And Matt Tolbert hits a line drive to Escobar, and that's a double play. So Benson was in a tough spot because he was trying to avoid that line drive, and that carried him toward 3rd rather than toward 2nd.
You're right, man, a tough spot, but that first step he took toward 3rd base really cost him right there. You see this ball going to be hit to his right side of his body, and he's got to freeze. But you know, when you're a base runner and that ball's hitting you, automatically going to take that one step. And that ball being right at him, he just was in no man's land at that point.
And now strike to Ben Revere. One ball, one strike. Revere is 0 for 3. Alex Gordon made a sliding play on him in the 5th inning. Foul off the left field side. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tough play. Escobar having to throw over Moustakas and realize that he was going to have to throw through Moustakas. And in a 5-run game, no reason to cripple one of your teammates, and he hangs on to it.
Well, that's when you got to talk. As middle infielders, you really got to be loud. And when this play develops, then Alcides got to call him Moose off so he doesn't cross in front of him like that. And that would have been a good one in the back of the head right there if he lets it go. But you can see just right here, I mean, that is just not a good line of fire to first base. And that's why once you call a ball loud enough, now Moustakas peels off, and you got a chance to make the play.
Trevor Plouffe singled in the 5th inning. He had been 0 for 20. A couple of Twins today have put an end to an 0 for 20. Michael Kadire did so in the 4th inning. Matt Tolbert, who was batting 9th for the Twins and just lined into the double play, is 0 for 3, and he's 0 for his last 21. Revere takes off, and Perez's throw is high. Second stolen base of the day for Ben Revere, and his 29th of the year. He also had a stolen base last night. Twins are 3 out of 3 in stolen base attempts today. Three and one.
And with the way Blake Wood delivers his pitch to home plate, it's a guy like Ben Revere is going to always get a good jump and take advantage of that slow move to the plate. You can take a look at him right here and just watch him rock back on that right side, and that's it right there. That's all the advantage a good base runner needs.
So that line drive double play is a big play. Ball was hit very hard, but right at Escobar. So he's given up a double, a single, and a walk, but because of the double play, no runs. Two on, two out. And Joe Mauer bats for the 4th time. Reached with a walk in the 1st. He is 0 for 2. And Joe Mauer has never faced Blake Wood. Two balls and no strikes. .287 batting average for Mauer. Only 3 home runs and 30 RBIs. Two and one.
You get a chance to see the Royals outfielder right here, Ryan, and they don't really think that Joe Mauer can pull the ball. And Melky Cabrera is well over in the left center field, and he's got a lot of the right field line with Francoeur moving over toward right center field. So this tells me that they don't want to slow the ball down on Mauer. If they slow the ball down, they got a chance to pull. They want to stay with the fastball away.
3-1 with Kadire on deck. Also a pretty stiff crosswind. We really haven't seen a ball carry to left field, left center, or center field today, with the wind blowing left to right, blowing out of the northwest. Bases loaded, 2 down. Man, how big is that double play now? Out comes Bob McClure, and at the same time, the Royals are active again in the bullpen. Aaron Crow and Tim Collins getting loose and getting loose in a hurry. So the only outs coming on a blistering line drive from Tolbert right to Escobar. And Joe Benson, as Frank described, got caught in no man's land, and Escobar able to run to second for the unassisted double play. And then an infield single and back-to-back walks to Michael Kadire. And Kadire has 2 hits today, and he has scored both of Minnesota's runs. And that's way outside for ball 1. So Kadire's had a good day. He hasn't had much luck against Blake Wood. He is 0 for 5, and 3 times he has struck out. Two and 0.
Yeah, right now the fastball is just not there. It's sinking out of the zone, and when Blake goes to the breaking ball, he's pulling it way off to the right outside of the plate. So just being able to find a good release point right now it's definitely bothering him at this point.
Taking all the way, 2 and 1. Three balls and 1 strike with Jason Kubel on deck. He would represent the tying run, and if he comes to the plate in this inning, he will most likely face Tim Collins. Three and 2.
That's real patient hitting by Michael Kadire right there. That's a veteran guy facing a pitcher he knows that doesn't have great command. So even though he could look to swing away on 3 and 1, he's forcing Blake Wood to make the pitches in this inning.
Runners go, and that is ball 4. Three straight walks, tying run to the plate. Ned Yost onto the field. And it will be Tim Collins to face Jason Kubel. because of this play.
That's a line drive off the bat of Matt Tolbert. And Joe Benson on second base got caught trying to get out of the way of that line drive, and that was a force out at second base for that double play. Big play this inning.
So Plouffe, Maurer, and Kadire on the bases. They all walked. Kadire just got his 65th RBI, walking with the bases loaded. So it's Tim Collins against Jason Kubel. Before they were called closers, the relief pitcher that put the fire out were known as firemen. And even though Tim Collins won't get a save today, this might be the biggest fire that the Royals bullpen has to deal with. Curveball is outside. Kubel 0 for 3, drove in a run with a ground out in the 6th inning. .256 batting average against left-hand pitching. There's a strike, 1-1. He has faced Tim Collins twice. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. One and two. Again, got him to chase a high fastball. It's not where the target was, but Kubel having difficulty with that pitch.
Well, if you got a hitter that may chase that pitch, you might as well, you got room to waste a couple up there and see if you can get yourself a strikeout. According to Fox Tracks, none of those pitches have been on the plate, and Tim Collins is 1 and 2 in this count.
And he strikes out Kubel with a curveball. So out of all that, Minnesota gets one. Top of the 7th inning. 7-3 Royals lead. Here are the Chevy plays of the game.
Well, Ryan, it all started with Matt Tolbert here trapping his own guy off second base, and Alcides Escobar takes this line drive to double up Benson at second base, and Tim Collins comes in with the bases loaded to put the damage, keep the damage to a minimum for the Royals and get him out of that inning.
And now Brian Dunsing, normally a starter, the former Nebraska Cornhusker, takes over in the bottom of the 7th inning. 5th pitcher for Minnesota today. And he throws a strike to Eric Hosmer. And quickly 0-2. Hosmer 2 hits. This is the 3rd time he has led off an inning, and the first 2 times he singled and eventually came around to score. Hosmer batting at .286 and down on 3 pitches. So a good start for Dunsing, and 1 away in the 7th. Taco Bell is helping boys and girls club teens go to college with the Graduate to Go program. Log on to graduatetogo.com to learn more. Deep short, pass Plouffe, and Jeff Francoeur has a 3-hit game.
They say hard ground balls, you got a chance to get base hits, and Jeff Francoeur does just that on a pitch down and in. Gets about Trevor Plouffe in the left field for a base hit.
A 14-hit game for the Royals, and now Mike Moustakas, who also has 3 hits today. Francoeur runs, and Joe Mauer's throw sails. It gets through Plouffe and Tolbert. So Francoeur with his 21st stolen base and goes to 3rd on Mauer's error.
Now you can really see that pitch getting by Plouffe. I mean, that throw getting by Plouffe because it's tailing to the right field side of second base. But as a second baseman, Tolbert's got to be ready to catch this play, to make this play here. He just sort of let up, and when he let up, the ball got by, and he wasn't able to back that throw up from the catcher.
Minnesota brings the infield in. Dunsing gets a broken bat comebacker, and then a rainbow throw over to first for the out. So the Twins retire Moustakas for the first time. Brian Dunsing grew up in Omaha, went to the University of Nebraska where he played with Alex Gordon and Jabba Chamberlain.
And when Dunsing done well in this inning, he came out of the bullpen to get that first lefty. He dominated over Hosmer with 3 pitches, got his strikeout. Francoeur did get the base hit, but he jams the next lefty, Moustakas, on a ground ball back to him. So that would be, in Ron Gardenhire's eyes, a pretty good outing because he's done exactly what he's asking him to do.
Johnny Giavotella 0 for 2, but a productive day. A couple of RBIs and a run scored. Royals scored 2 in the 2nd. Minnesota got a run in the 4th, and the Royals came right back with 3 in the 4th. Minnesota got a run in the 6th. Royals got 2 in the 6th, so they've answered Minnesota every time today and trying to do it again in the 7th. 2 balls and 1 strike to Giavotella. Three and 1. Back to Dunsing. So scoreless 7th inning for him. On to the 8th. Royals lead by 4. trying to win their 4th game in a row, and they lead by 4. Panera takes us around the American League. Toronto defeating Boston 5-4. Tigers have won 12 in a row, so their magic number is at 3. They have a 13-game lead. The Angels win. They were 3 back of Texas. Texas will play later tonight at home against Cleveland. Tampa Bay at Baltimore. Tampa Bay 4 back in the wild card. And New York will be at Seattle. The Yankees have won 3 straight. They have a 4-game lead in the East. Tim Collins struck out Jason Kubel with the bases loaded to put an end to the top of the 7th inning, so he stays on for the 8th. Danny Valencia, Chris Parmelee, and Joe Benson coming up. One ball, 1 strike. Two and 1. Valencia has driven in one of the 3 runs, and that was back in the 4th inning. And at that point, it was a 2-1 Royals lead. Up the middle and into center field. Valencia has 2 hits. All right, Hoops fans. The Progressive CBE Classic is back in Kansas City. Come out to Sprint Center to see Mizzou take on Notre Dame, Cal, and Georgia. Action begins November 21st, followed by the championship doubleheader on the 22nd. Tickets on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Down and away to Chris Parmelee. He is 0 for 2 so far today with a walk. The Royals can hang on today. They would then go into Minnesota for the last 3 games of the season and would need to take 2 out of 3 to tie the season series with the Twins. Two balls and 1 strike, and this isn't the same Twins team that they've been used to facing, but that would be 1 step forward for them to at least break even against Minnesota. I don't know if there's a team that's given the Royals more fits over the last 10 years than the Minnesota Twins.
So even when I played, they gave us fits, especially in September. But that just kind of goes back to finishing last or finishing 4th. You know, to me, when you're trying to pull yourself up in the division and you finish last as many times as the Royals have, then when you can finish 4th, to me that says a little improvement right there. And then the higher you go up, the more your improvement gets. And I think that anytime you say, well, if you don't finish first, you know, who cares? I mean, it's all about how it sounds. And it really sounds better when you say we finished 4th. And I think with all the improvement of these young guys and what they've been able to do this year, not finishing last, I would think, would mean a lot to those guys.
Parmelee is out, so 1 on, 1 out. And Joe Benson comes to the plate. New series begins tomorrow for the Royals. Jeff Francis and Chicago's Mark Burley hooking up tomorrow at 7:10. Hy-Vee Royals Live begins at 6:30. Game 1 of 4 between the Royals and the White Sox. Oh and 1 on Benson, who has 2 hits, including a 7th inning double. One and 1. Jeff Francoeur positioned perfectly for Benson, and he makes the catch, 2 down. Royals have played one of their best and one of their worst series this year against the Twins. They swept Minnesota at the end of April and into May, and the Royals started this year 4-1 against the Twins. And then it was Minnesota coming in here to Kauffman Stadium in early June and sweeping a 4-game series, and that really got them going for a while. They came to town 20 games below 500, but by the middle of July they had trimmed that to 5 games below 500, so they got themselves back into the race. They were just 5 games back, and then the injuries continued to mount and they began to tail off, landing where they are now, last in the Central Division. But that run, which might be the most disappointing series the Royals have played this year, that 4-game sweep here in early June, and it began a nice run for Minnesota. But here we are, the Royals now just 3 outs away on defense from a 2-game sweep.
At Kauffman Stadium after the game out at Rivals on Boulevard Royals Live. We'll talk about this Royals offense as the middle third really getting it done at the plate today. We'll look back at Luke Hochevar's start, highlights, reaction, and Jeff Montgomery analysis coming up on Boulevard Royals Live. Ryan?
Joel, you see that line? Everybody trying to get into Rivals to watch Boulevard Royals Live?
Jeff Montgomery autographs today.
I don't know about that.
And we told them Frank White was going to be out there.
They're out there to see you, Joel. Are you nervous?
Who's the new pitcher?
Jim Hoey is the new Minnesota pitcher. He is the 6th pitcher for the Twins today. They have an off day tomorrow, so everybody gets a day off. 6'6", 208 pounds, out of Trenton, New Jersey, signed by the Giants, or make that the Baltimore Orioles, his original organization. 13th round pick in 03. Tolbert out into shallow right field to make the play. Hoey out of Rider University. I'll give you $5, Frank, if you can tell me where Rider University is. He had Tommy John surgery the year after he was drafted by Baltimore. And then 4 years after that, he had surgery on his shoulder.
I'll just announce it.
It sounds East Coast.
No, I'll do it because my dad went to Rider. How about
That
that?
doesn't mean you know where it is, though.
It's in New Jersey.
I said East Coast, didn't I?
You did say East Coast. Rider is in New Jersey.
You didn't give me a chance.
You said East Coast.
I didn't finish.
It's that East Coast bias.
I said it sounds East Coast, and then I had something else to say.
And then you were going to say New Jersey. You ever been to Trenton?
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
I can't believe I stole Frank's thunder.
I can.
What else you got on Ryder, Frank?
I think it's up to you to tell us since your dad went there.
No, that's all I got. Back to you.
Rider University in New Jersey. Now we all know. Plouffe. Boy, he's been doing that all series. That was not the plan for the Twins this year to have Trevor Plouffe at shortstop. It was either going to be Nishioka or Casilla.
Just basically just getting the ball in the glove here. He looked up a little too soon. The ball goes off into the glove and off into his foot. And that's never a good thing for an infielder right there. There's an old saying when that happens to you as an infielder. They always say, you want to put a glove on that foot?
Yeah.
But it's that's always a bad feeling when you kick a ball after you try to catch it.
That reminds me of a game, and I heard a version of that. You know, put a glove on that foot, and then the poor fielder in the same game, he took one off of his knee, and somebody said, "Hey, put a glove on that knee." Later in the game, a bad hop went off of his shoulder, and of course, you know, put a glove on that shoulder. This guy was just getting worn out. It was a college game. Finally, late in the game, he got a ground ball, and it bounced off of his glove, and after hesitation, the same bench jockey said, "Hey, put a glove on that glove." Oh, man. Which proves once again,
You can't beat fun at the old ballpark. But when you get one off your lips, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, there's no putting a glove on your lips. Escobar takes off, and Alex fouls it away. Two-hit game for Alex, 5 in the series. He's 5 out of 10 with 3 RBIs. Royals trying to win 4 in a row for the 5th time this year, and that's a season high. Royals last completed a 4-game winning streak on July 23rd. Off speed, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2012 schedule was released today, so you can take a look at where the Royals will be all next year. We can tell you that the Royals will open on the West Coast and will start 2012 against the Angels. They will play a couple of exhibition games against the San Diego Padres. 1 game in San Diego, and then another exhibition game at Lake Elsinore, which is a minor league town, and then opening day at the Angels, and then the Royals will be home against the Cleveland Indians. Interleague play, the Diamondbacks, Brewers, and Cardinals, at Pittsburgh, at St. Louis, and at Houston. Major League Baseball has determined that the Royals have a fierce rivalry with the Arizona Diamondbacks, the Houston Astros, and the Pittsburgh Pirates. It could get bloody next year. It's been borderline nasty with those 3 teams, and baseball, of course, wants to emphasize the rivalries, so we'll get another taste of it next year.
Yeah, the Royals are really, they always say rivalries it's all about winning, and when they start to win and teams you start to beat good teams, and that's when the rivalries really start. And you have your natural in-state rivalry with the Cardinals, but they really haven't established themselves yet as being a true rival to any team in the American League yet. But as the winning starts, then that will pick up.
Three balls and 2 strikes. It has been a long time since the Royals have played the Phillies in interleague play. The Mets. Long time since the Royals have been to Wrigley Field. Since they've been to San Francisco, since they faced the Dodgers. That's 5 right there. Strikeout. Didn't get the tag. It wasn't a great throw, but it appeared that Plouffe had a shot to tag out Alcides Escobar. Brian Honora, the second base umpire, said no tag, and Escobar swipes his 24th.
That's pretty close right there. Ball's pretty well down the line. He's a good 5 feet down the line making this catch on this throw from Joe Mauer. But Brian was there, had his head right in the action.
Melky Cabrera has a 6-game hitting streak, an infield single for him in the 6th inning. 184 hits this year. Now the Royals have had both more runners in scoring position and way more hits with runners in scoring position, and lead by 4 in the bottom of the 8th. Handled by Parmalee. Hoey to the bag, and that's the inning. 9th inning. Royals 3 outs away from a 2-game sweep. Today is Roberto Clemente Day, and in the spirit of that, each team has nominated their Roberto Clemente Man of the Year award, and for the Royals it is Billy Butler. That is presented by Chevrolet. Billy and his wife Katie very involved in the Royals community, always available, and Billy's biggest program for the Bishop Sullivan Center is the Hit It a Ton program, and every time Billy hits a home run, donating a ton of food to the Bishop Sullivan Center, matched by several other companies. So congratulations to Billy, and the winner of the Major League Roberto Clemente Award will be during the World Series. Billy getting his award earlier today. Mike Matthews on the far right, waving there from the Bishop Sullivan Center.
Well, that's a great program right there.
Hey, a good grab by a fan. Barehanded with his Alex Gordon powder blue t-shirt. He had his sunglasses on, which is good for a day like today. Nicely played.
But neat if Alex had smiled just about right there.
Just outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Ben Revere. Tim Collins bailed out Blake Wood and the Royals in the 7th. Minnesota with a run home and then the bases loaded. But he struck out Jason Kubel, pitched a scoreless 8th. And now on to the 9th, 3-2 on Revere. And a leadoff walk. Collins able to get around a leadoff single last inning, retiring the next 3 hitters. And now Collins will get Trevor Plouffe, who singled in the 5th inning, putting an end to an 0 for 20. Plouffe has had his troubles in this series on defense at short. And you might remember Minnesota had a very interesting situation going into spring training. They may have known in their hearts who their opening day shortstop was going to be, but it appeared that Alexi Casilla and Tsuyoshi Nishioka went to spring training and they were going to compete for both shortstop and second base. One of them was going to end up the shortstop and the other was going to end up as the starting second baseman. There's Nishioka, who very early in the season had his leg broken on a hard slide by Nick Swisher of the Yankees. So he has not given the Twins what they were hoping for in his first year in Minnesota. And then Alexi Casilla, who is on the disabled list right now, has been on the DL twice.
Yeah, that's one area up the middle. You keep changing up the middle, you're not going to get the same consistency, and your game will change if those guys that are supposed to be everyday guys are not there, and you got to keep mixing and matching every day. But that's one of the things that they fix, and as you brought up a number of times, every year they seem to have a different middle infield, and they've been able to win like that. But this is the first year that everything just sort of caught up with the entire organization.
Trevor Plouffe strikes out. And for Collins, his second strikeout, 1 away in the 9th.
Yeah, Salvador Perez wants this. He missed off the mark a little bit. He wanted it to the outside. Tim Collins get the pitch on the inside corner, and Trevor Plouffe took it as if he said, "Well, I thought it was inside." But I think a lot of times when you go back and look at a lot of your strikeouts, a lot of them are pitches just that close, and hitters just can't leave those type pitches in the hands of the umpire. You got to try to foul those pitches off and hope the pitcher makes a mistake on the next one.
Joe Mauer is 0 for 2 with 2 walks. 1 for 6 in the series with an infield single. And based on what he's done against the Royals in his career, we've been reading about his struggles at the plate. And I don't know about you, but my reaction is, well, I got to see it to believe it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the home runs, those do fluctuate, but as far as just getting his base hits, I mean, that Joe Mauer being under 300 as a hitter, you don't really expect to see that at all because he has that kind of back control and that kind of eye at the plate.
Last won a batting title in 09, and it was his 3rd batting title in 4 years. Revere runs, And the Royals will let him take second base. He has 3 stolen bases today, 4 in the series. And the Twins are 4 for 4 today in stolen base attempts. And for Revere, that's 30 stolen bases on the season. Three balls, 2 strikes. Last year looked like an off year for Joe Mauer. He hit just .293 in the first half, but he hit .373 in the second half and finished 3rd in the league with a .327 batting average. He will walk for the 3rd time today. So Ned Yost, with the Royals still having to play 6 more games in a row after today, hoping that Collins could be the end for the bullpen. Instead, he'll have to bring on Greg Holland with a runner at first and second, 1 out. Recording just 1 out in the 9th, so Greg Holland will try and close it out. Royals 7, Minnesota 3. Royals going for their 4th straight win and a 2-game sweep over the Twins. And Holland will get Michael Kadire with 2 on and 1 out. Kadire's had the best day of any of the Twins so far, with a single, a triple, 2 runs scored, an RBI, and a stolen base. Holland misses down and away, ball 1. Kadire flied out in his first at bat, and that made him 0 for his last 20, but now 2 for 2 with a walk in his last 3 plate appearances. One and one. Blocked by Perez. Revere holds at second. Mauer at first. Coming into this brief 2-game series, the Twins had won 7 of their last 8 against the Royals, after the Royals won 4 of the first 5 between the 2 teams this year. And now 3-1. Minnesota had won 4 in a row here at Kauffman Stadium before losing last night 4-0. 3-2. Jason Kubel on deck, representing the potential tying run, so that makes this a save opportunity for Greg Holland, going for his 3rd save of the year. Kadire walks to load him up. Well, you get 4 or 5 at-bats in a game, Frank. And remember, we were talking earlier about it takes more than being in the big leagues to be a big leaguer. And big leaguers know that you may fail with one opportunity, but you might get another one later in the game. And it was just 2 innings ago that Jason Kubel came to the plate, representing the tying run with the bases loaded.
He's had to face Tim Collins in that at bat, and Tim was able to get him to strike out. But you're right, you can only go to the well so many times, and when you have a 4-run lead, you don't want to come in and walk guys. You want to come in and throw strikes and make the hitters put the ball in play.
Collins struck him out with the bases loaded, and now Kubel hits a fly ball to left field. Alex near the line makes the catch. So Kubel in his last 2 at-bats, 0 for 2 with the bases loaded. And the Royals are 1 out away from sweeping the series.
That was even a bigger at-bat because it was 1 out, and he had an opportunity to do some damage without getting a base hit, but Holland was able to get him to pop up to left field.
Two hits and an RBI for Valencia. This is also the 2nd time in the last 3 innings that the Twins have the bases loaded, all because of walks. In for a strike, 0-1.
Yeah. This is a real good slider here from Holland.
Valencia, 2 grand slams. His first was here at Kauffman Stadium last year against Zach Greinke. That was his first major league home run. Down 0-2.
Yeah, that's the pitch right there that really gives Danny Valencia trouble with right-handed pitches. That hard slider down and away. And he just hasn't been able to lay off this pitch. This is well out of the strike zone down, but he's just not picking it up. You can see his head was looking in the left field and just never saw it, never tracked that pitch at all. And to me, you got to go back out there. You don't want to mess around inside right here, especially when you know they'll chase the pitch away from him.
Struck him out. So the 7th inning ended with a strikeout and the bases loaded, and the game ends with a strikeout with the bases loaded. So the Royals sweep the 2-game series. They get good pitching again today. Luke Hochevar wins his 11th of the year. Blake Wood, Tim Collins, Greg Holland pitching the final 3 innings. And at the plate, the Royals coming up with 7 runs on 14 hits, and they played another errorless game.
It's a good game back-to-back for the Royals, and it's good to see that they're spreading the offense throughout their lineup. 14 big hits today, and you see the Twins left 12 men on base, and that's because the Royals were able to come in and get some good relief pitching at the right time.
And for the 5th time this year, the Royals have won 4 games in a row. So tomorrow they'll go for a season high 5 in a row against the Chicago White Sox. But that's tomorrow. For now, let's go down to the field. And here's Joel.
Ryan, thank you very much. Plenty of offense for the Royals today as we are down on the field with Jeff Francoeur. Assuming you don't want to talk about your 21st stolen base, but if you do, you can. But how about the offense and being able to get to a guy you've never seen before quickly?
Well, he was throwing a lot of strikes trying to get ahead, and we were able to put some balls early. Moose, me and Haas were able to get on the first couple times, and Moose and Gio drove us in. And, Hoach did a great job. He wasn't feeling real good today, kind of been under the weather. for him to go out there and give us 6 innings the way he did, you know, it was awesome, and our bullpen did the rest.
You're getting the pitching, you're getting the hitting. What's been the key as far as motivation goes? Because, you know, it's late in the year, you're not in the race, but yet this team doesn't seem to have given up.
Well, I think we're building for next year, and I think you look around, the rookies that we've had are coming up. They're doing a great job. They're getting more comfortable. You know, you see Moose, Gio, they're starting to contribute more, feeling comfortable at the plate. And, you know, it's something we can carry the rest this year and into spring training next year.
Alex said on the pregame show that that you stole all the spotlight with all the defensive plays and gave Melky a chance to have a turn yesterday. He said it was his turn today. Did he do okay?
Yeah, he did good. You know, that one catch, the wind kind of messed him up, but I thought it was good. No, he, you know, Gordo's had an unbelievable year. Offensively, defensively, everything's probably the most consistent player on our team, and you know it's been fun to watch him this year.
I was giving you a chance because you know he'd take a shot at you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not going to take a shot at him today. I'm going to give him his due today. I'll take a shot at him later.
Sounds good. Good job, Frenchie.
Thanks, Joel. Thanks, guys.
All right, that is Jeff Francoeur, big 3-hit day, and as always, a big smile. Ryan, back upstairs to you.
All right, thank you, Joel. So an impressive series for the Royals. Game ends with a strikeout. Greg Holland and the Royals, 7-3 win. We'll be right back.